Today's episode, The End of an Era, again. Disney announces Bob Iger will be stepping down as CEO of Disney, and a successor has already been named. What does this mean for the largest player in themed entertainment? We respond with plenty of thoughts, comments, and general silliness. All that and more, right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fully Immersed. It's your favorite themed entertainment podcast. I am your host, Lane Calder, joined once again by my good friends, Spencer Bennett.
Hello, hello.
And as always, the big cheese himself, Tobias Lerman Matante.
Hello.
Wow.
Just a normal hello.
That's just a normal hello.
That's both of us.
It's a long week, dude. It's a
We're
long
straight
week.
shooters today.
you know what? Fair enough. We're moving on. Today, folks, we are talking about the biggest news probably in the themed entertainment sphere. Well, I guess just entertainment in general. Some of the biggest news of the year so far, but definitely in our neck of the woods, probably the biggest news of the year thus far. Disney CEO Bob Iger stepping down for the second time. Second time is supposedly the charm in this situation. Stepping down, I believe his contractor is up like end of the year, right? But he intends to step down before then, is what I've read. Variety and a lot of other publications have been doing a number of articles already on these. Like there's been like 10 articles that have come out from the same publications over the last couple days since this information was announced. Josh D'Amaro is officially named as Bob Iger's successor as CEO of Disney, the entire whole enchilada. He is the golden ticket holder to the chocolate factory. He will be the new CEO of Disney. Also notable, Disney did elevate Dana Walden, who was co-chair of the entertainment division overseeing TV and streaming, to the role of president and chief creative officer. So essentially adding, according to Variety, essentially adding oversight of the film business to what she already oversees. So more power over film and television as well. But I think that's kind of a natural response, in my opinion, when they promoted somebody who's very much probably parks and experiences focused,
for sure.
Since that's the part that he came up through. That's the grapevine that he rose. And so I think that decision makes sense, especially, to public eyes and things like that. Josh D'Amaro, I think that probably might have surprised some people. I think that of the few names that have been thrown around over the last, I guess like last decade, if you count like since the last time Bob Iger was stepping down, but one of the names that had been thrown around for a while was Josh D'Amaro, in addition to a few others. He was always the one to me, and I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I know I texted you about this. He was always the one to me that felt, to me, like the one that they probably wouldn't go for, and that was mostly because Disney's focus the last few years, at least to me, has been a lot more on the entertainment side, Disney Plus, etc., and that's just not like the world that he comes from. And so I would have said that that's probably not who I expect to go for. And I personally like that they chose him. I think that if of any of those names, he's probably the one that I thought was least likely to get it, but that I'm probably most interested to see. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
I was not surprised at all. So,
you think so? I felt like it was a thing where they've seen especially in the last couple of years, that they're not like on a cliff, but they're definitely teetering a little bit in terms of parks and experiences. Their main competitor, Universal, just opened a major new theme park domestically. Disney itself has been getting kind of reamed with the failure that was Genie Plus and just in general price hiking across the board. And so kind of getting dragged through the mud a little bit there by their own design, really. And I think that at a certain point, you gotta say, hey, the parks are a big part of what we do, and we want to elevate somebody that's going to bring us back into the competition with Universal. We don't want to be in a position that we put Universal in the early 2000s, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, we
Dude,
don't want to.
but at this, the way I saw it was like what made them the most money in this time period. It was the parks.
The parks, yeah.
They announced a $60 billion investment in the next 10 years into theme parks. Like it kind of made total sense if that's the pivot you're going for.
Sure.
And right, like you already put a merchandising business person in charge of things. It was disastrous.
Yeah. Sure.
Like
Dude, we got the cute little Coke bottles that look like
I mean,
grenades.
technically he was the head of parks for a while. Chapek was, who everybody hated. But yeah, he did come from like a merchandising.
And that's the
background.
meme, right? That Chapek ruins Galaxy's Edge and all that.
Well, the
And-
cuts, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess
like
that
you've
makes
got
sense.
you've got this guy, and then it's like what did she do?
She was like
The-
TV, right?
She was, and then
Film and
she's
TV.
elevated now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, and film and TV like was not doing particularly well in the last couple of years. I mean, Disney Plus objectively was a failure for a long time, and I think it just became profitable now. Question
All the
mark.
streaming
She-
just became
yeah.
profitable recently because of ads.
Oh,
They
yeah.
all bit
Yeah.
off way more than they
Yeah.
could chew.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
that
The
didn't really
The
work.
premium plans have definitely given them a boost. Yeah, she
That
was
didn't-
co-chair of TV and streaming essentially.
And
so
I
the
mean,
rest of
how
it was
many
the
how many
studio.
bombs did we have from Disney last year and the year before? We had like
Snow
s-
White,
Snow
there was
White,
another remake,
Indiana
right?
Jones,
I think
That
Moana
bombs.
was
2
years
did
ago.
well.
Oh yeah, it made $1 billion. So
Yeah.
did last year? They did great actually. Zootopia made
What-
$1 billion.
Sorry,
Avatar
I'm
made
thinking.
$1 billion.
I'm thinking 2024. Sorry,
Yeah,
My, it's still 2025 in my head. 2024. You had Indiana Jones with complete bomb. You had a bunch of bombs on their end. So like,
the
like
Marvel
yeah, they
movies
had.
bombed. The Marvels
It-
and Captain America bombed.
They had like some finally
Bro, Ant-Man and
found,
the Wasp.
No,
No,
it was Ant-Man and
Quantumania.
Quantumania, yeah.
Yeah,
and that was a whole mess. So like, they ate shit pretty bad. 2024, 2023. I think those were like
Oh,
some
yeah.
pretty rough
Yeah.
years for them on the film and TV side. So.
Mhm.
The parks just consistently did well. I mean, now maybe we're seeing ramifications, but even then, are we? Like, we won't know until I think 2-3 years from now when we really get epic numbers and consistency. So
Sure.
on the Orlando side,
I guess I just hadn't I hadn't dared myself to hope that they would give parks and experiences person the total reins to it. But I'm glad that they did, and I agree with you that it's part of the same effort that they've been making with the recent announced investments and new parks elsewhere in the world.
yeah, dude. So like, I don't know. That's just kind of just how I see it. I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense to me. It seems to be the direction that financially is making sense for them. So
Sure.
why the hell not?
Yeah, I
Share
mean,
your thoughts, Spencer.
Sure, yeah. I wasn't surprised because it had been kind of rumored for a while that he was the one they were looking at, and if you follow the history of this company, they usually go for the really charismatic, charming white guy.
Yeah.
That's sort of their bread
He's
and
definitely
butter.
the most charismatic person that was in the running.
Like you
for
look
sure.
at him and you're like, yeah, he looks like he would be the CEO of Disney. Like he has the same kind of smile as Iger and Eisner and that
Big
kind of
ol'
like
smile. Yeah.
yeah. What's interesting with you being surprised
The
by
big
it, I mean,
cheese.
yeah, I either thought it was going to be him or they were going to pull an Eisner and go out of company, which is why Eisner was such an interesting pivot at the time because he wasn't working for Disney. He just got brought in as the CEO.
Right.
Iger
He
was a
with- he
weatherman
was
for
with, like,
ABC.
Warner Brothers before, right?
Yeah, something like
Eisner?
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Iger like rose the ranks like really from the ground as like I said, he was a news anchor for ABC, I'm pretty sure, and then he
Right.
became a network and then like
See, I almost
exec
felt
and-
like Walden was like the Eisner move of like let's elevate somebody from that knows film and that has done well with TV and stuff, and
Sure.
give them charge.
Yeah,
more
I mean, I
of
think
more things.
what Toby said, like the parks is what has kept them, afloat. It's always been their kind of bread and butter financially, and it's hard to tell. I was surprised by the reaction being so mixed because I, just to cut to the chase, think this is a great thing. He amongst like cast members, and I can tell the story of when I worked at Disneyland and met Josh tomorrow, is
Absolutely.
extremely revered. People really love him. So he was the president of Disneyland for several years. Then he was the president of Walt Disney World for several years. And then he got elevated recently under Iger to the head of parks and experiences. So he's like steeped in the theme park aspect of this. I know people were like, I saw the reaction on Instagram and whatnot of people like giving him the, you know, the fault of the Genie Plus and the getting rid of Magical Express and all that. It's really hard with this company specifically to like pinpoint blame like that. That's not just immediately at the top. Because if you think about Universal, right, like Mark Woodbury is the CEO of parks. But the way that Disney operates, it's like one guy basically has a company-wide directive.
Like,
and so,
if
like,
you're talking about Disney, you were talking about Iger.
Right.
It was like always how it was.
So even like, you know, when in the heyday of Iger, when everyone liked him, when he was just buying up franchises left and right and making Disney this empire, that was still happening in the parks. Like all of that was reflected from the ground, from the top down of that kind of energy. Same with Chapek of being cheap as hell and butchering everything for more massive profits and no long-term thinking. That's like was felt across the board. So I don't know what you can really give him if you're going to complain about it, but all I know is like from the employee perspective and the park experience perspective, he's pretty much universally loved. So I think it's great. And like I said, he looks like a CEO. Like everyone always kind of thought he would eventually get there.
I always liked him as the prospect, as the favored prospect to me because of how you talked about him, really. And that's like, you know, because you read whatever about these guys online, but then, you know, you had a story about him and the way that you've talked about him before. I was like, that's probably the guy that I would want if I was an employee there.
So
which I'd love for you to get into. We can talk about Bob and his legacy later on, I think, as kind of a reflection, but would love to kind of get your firsthand impression of the new CEO of Disney.
Yeah, I mean, I met him a handful of times. What everyone liked about him was he would walk around the park often and consistently and just talk to people, talk to guests, talk to cast members, like try to kind of create. He seemed like he actually like wanted to hear people's thoughts and opinions, and I think that goes a long way in
criticism.
Yeah, open to criticism. Like it goes a long way in company leadership. So I never said anything of note like that to him, but I did like shake his hand several times.
You were never like, here are my thoughts.
Yeah.
He was Disneyland's president, right?
He was the president of Disneyland for a long time.
Look, man, the Dole Whip is $2 too expensive.
Too much, Josh.
$2 too expensive? Only $2?
But no, the first time I met him is my story, which is so ridiculous. But when you work for the parks, you know, it's like any workplace. There's like, you know, activities. And so there was a basketball rec league with like the whole city of Anaheim, and there was a handful of like teams that were Disneyland cast members. I was on one of them.
Up?
Yeah, I was one of them. So I was on the team with this guy who used to play.
I didn't know this.
Oh yeah. He used to play. This guy started the team who recruited everyone for the team. Used to play like semi-professionally overseas, so he was like properly good.
Wait,
he was.
What did he play?
He played basketball overseas, like professionally.
Oh wow, okay.
It's like Will Smith and semi-pro.
Yeah. Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Good lord.
No, so this guy who did like Chewbacca and Darth Vader was like, I'm starting a team. Do you want to in? Like you're tall, you play, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I was on the team, and you play, you know, other company teams, mainly from the resort, but there was other like hospitality company, like the hotels around the resort had teams. Like it was a rec league for tourism companies in Anaheim. So anyway, like our first or second game, we're playing this other team of Disney people, and they are like older, more like adults. We're kind of younger, more having fun with it, like talking shit. Like we were just like having fun, like being idiots with it.
They're like running plays, and you're just playing. You're
adults
just playing horse.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, going coast to coast, like not really thinking things through. And there was a guy who, you know, seemed like he probably worked somewhere at TDA, which is Team Disney Anaheim, which is the corporate building behind the park. And I was like, whatever, this is probably the office team, the team who works in like the offices, right?
Yeah.
So this guy is, you know, he's pretty good, like noticeably better than most people. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm guarding him. And he goes to the basket, like to his right, and I blocked the ever-living shit out of the ball, like sent it through the stands, and I like made like a whole like Matumbo, like jokingly was like just being a complete ass. And he laughs and like shakes my hand. Then I get back to the bench, and the guy recruited the team is like, "Do you know who the fuck that is?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "That's Josh Tomorrow, the president of the Disneyland resort." He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, what? I didn't know.
you just clowned on the CEO
Yeah,
of Disney.
literally, yes. And it was, I mean, I laughed. I was mortified in the moment. It's hilarious now. But I was like, oh my God, not only did I like block him, but I like talked shit to like the boss of bosses at the park at the time.
That man could have had you fired
Immediately. Yeah. But no, he was fun, and like everyone was a good sport about it, and he clearly didn't remember.
He was having a good time.
Because I had like, no, and I had met him other times, and he didn't go like, hey, you're the guy who blocked me in the rec league.
Absolutely clowned on my ass.
So, no, but everyone liked him. But that's my Josh D'Amaro story, is I have played him in basketball and blocked him really badly.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah, that's a true story.
He was president of Disney World for a year. I was just looking his stuff up.
Yeah. That's where he went after, and everyone was really sad to see him go. That was right when I left the company, so I don't know who the president is now.
That's how
but
you know those, like, when a boss leaves and you're like sad about it, is like, that's a good boss.
And he he was the whole president of Parks and Resorts, and this kind of backlash came by from, what I think was largely corporate direction. He was like loved by the community of Parks fans too. Like, he was a known name for a long time. People loved him. Like, there was this podcast that's obsolete now, because I guess the guy who hosted it was maybe like a sex pest. I don't know, but it was called like Diz Unplugged in Florida, and they were like the biggest Josh D'Amaro fans that I used to listen to years ago. So like, he was, a known figure. So it doesn't surprise me at all. And I think it's a great choice, and I like him, and I think he's going to surprise people if they think it's going to be more of the Iger-y, I almost said Cheapek, because that's the way everyone called him. Cheapek.
Cheapek.
Right? Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Decision making. I don't think it's going to be that. But yeah, Josh, if you're listening for some reason, I'm sorry I clowned on you in front of everyone.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
He's actually one of those fans that comments on our
Yeah, he's one of the people that's commented before.
Yeah, it's actually him the whole time. He's like,
It's true,
by the way, whoever you are out there that leaves like a paragraph in the YouTube comments,
we love you.
With your thoughts. We love you.
His name is Jackson Creed something. He's the best.
Yeah. You're the best, man. Like, you honestly, like, I love reading your thoughts every week.
No, I try to respond and like engage with him. It's like, wow, we have a YouTube channel.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's my Josh D'Amaro story.
Jackson.
Thanks, Jackson Creed. I love the hire. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. I don't know.
See. I mean, who knows? He might end up being terrible, but
you've got a lot of
People
fixing to do.
When you got, reporting to a board is hard.
Oh yeah.
I've never done it, but I know people who have, and that shit is hard. And who knows? But I like the hire because of the way that you've always talked about him with like respect and I mean, I definitely have worked for some bosses, even from when I was like a teenager through my career, where it's like everybody's worked for somebody that they don't respect, and you've always like respected him, and I like the hire. I
just think, like, especially in like that huge of a role, like this is the equivalent of, like, Bezos strolled through an Amazon factory and people were like, he's the man. Like, that doesn't happen, right? Like,
no, they're like fuck Bezos.
They're like, fuck this guy.
This asshole's in Italy.
Like, that doesn't happen. But in the case of D'Amaro, like, that was the attitude. So like, whether it was phony or not, it didn't come across that way to the employees.
If it's phony, like, that's a pretty good effort.
Yeah, right? Fine. Like, be phony. If you're gonna be like sincerely phony, then I don't really care.
Sincerely phony. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But no, I think he's gonna be surprising, and it makes me hopeful for the future of the parks. Just getting more of a priority, of an understanding of what you said, Toby, of like, this is what makes you money. Obviously, movies are oldest time, way to make profit, but even with the film industry, it's kind of in weird limbo. Everything's moving to Atlanta, like, everything's weird. I think that parks is where their focus should be.
Everything's either on a little stage or off in Georgia, and or up in Canada at this point,
right?
Or Australia. Anywhere but here.
Anywhere but LA.
Anywhere
at this point.
but in Toby's town,
right?
So I think that's really interesting. I I like the hire personally.
Dude, but like
intrigued in what comes.
Iger, good on him on one end because he made them an empire, and on the other hand, that brand is so tarnished at this point.
Dude.
He is, like, I was telling Spencer this before you hopped on, before we hit record, but like he is like the tale of two Bobs.
Yeah,
you know, is like how a lot of people view him.
Pre-Chapek and post-Chapek Iger is like two different people.
Like that first Bob that we had, all of the best like CEO quotes that I've ever heard. Like,
I mean,
people loved OG
Iger. Like they were not that in the 90s.
Invest in everything, take over everything, and from like a company perspective, the board was fans of that, right? So, you know, expand, even like things like continuing to expand Disney Cruise Line and like other things that like people don't always think of when they think of Disney, but which are avenues for profit. And I think that from a business perspective, like that first time around, he was the man.
Purchased Marvel, purchased Lucasfilm, purchased Pixar, like did all of these like no-brainer acquisitions.
The MCU started under him,
right?
And like some of the great Disney expansions, Cars Land.
Oh, bought Fox too. I missed another huge one.
Yeah, bought Fox, but like you know what I mean. Like a lot of the big parks and experiences expansions too happened under him, and so like he was kind of like that first Bob Iger, at least from a modern and you know, from the consumer perspective, pretty well-rounded CEO in terms of like what he was able to accomplish.
I mean, he was like the CEO. Everyone like would quote him. He wrote books. Like people wanted him to run for president for a period of time. You know, like he was just like big shot.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. God, and you know, his last big project was Disney Plus. That was always like the brainchild, right? Of like, we're gonna have our own streaming service.
That's why we're gonna acquire all this. We're gonna like build up this backlog of content, and we're gonna be the first to do this. And they were, of the studios. But once that happened and it didn't go initially the way they thought, it was like because he started Disney Plus, right? And then Chapek took over. It was like my vision is complete. I'm done.
Like Bob Iger, like it, and remember how it was when it launched? Like stuff wouldn't even like load correctly.
Oh, it was a big mess. Yeah.
Like you couldn't skip ahead more than 10 seconds at a time.
That's
Do you
right.
remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
Like it was kind of messy in terms of streaming services because like Netflix and Hulu were already pretty fucking polished at that point.
Yeah.
And, well, Hulu's honestly has never had a great user interface in my opinion, but like Netflix especially. Even Prime at that point had already been pretty polished up, and that initial launch was a bit rough. But I remember, you know, day one, wasn't it like day one of Disney Plus, Mandalorian?
Yeah,
and that was the thing to drop.
It was like a
on,
cultural
that,
phenom.
That first episode was so fucking good.
Yeah,
too.
everyone
like,
was locked in.
So ungodly hard in the paint on that on
this
Jon
was like
Favreau's part.
Before, and it happened under Chapek coincidentally, but like. I just remember when like Marvel and Disney like couldn't do anything wrong for a period of time under Iger.
Yeah,
and then like in the 3 years of Chapek and then the recent stint of Iger, it was like, and now we're gonna torpedo everything, and it's so crazy how quick it happened versus the like gradual ascent. You know,
what bad developments either in parks or entertainment or film happened under that first Iger stint?
Very few. It was like all they did was hit home runs.
Like what did they miss on?
I mean, everyone hates the live action remakes, but they were massively profitable.
Massively profitable. Jungle Book, massively profitable. I mean, like, you know, Pixar's always going to be consistent. Animation, I mean, Frozen or whatever, all that animation is going to be consistent. You know,
does Disney animation?
Yeah, and then, I mean, completely redoing the main central part of Disney's California Adventure.
Yeah,
you know, like making this an actual proper Disney feeling park, and
there was like you said, investments into everything. You know.
Right. So few misses where it's like, if I have to think of a miss, I don't know, like Nutcracker and the Four Realms, like
Tomorrowland, starring George Clooney.
Nutcracker.
Dude, I remember I watched that movie on like over Thanksgiving break in Boston because I was like the only person I knew that was there over Thanksgiving, and I was like, I'll go watch Nutcracker.
Dude, you saw it? I didn't see it.
Oh, I saw it. It was bad. It was not good.
I imagine so.
And there was no, you know the theater, Toby. I was in that theater across the street from the Boston Common.
Oh yeah, the AMC,
the Lowe's AMC, yeah. And oh man, there was nobody there. It was
That's
like me
hilarious.
and 3 other people. It's wild.
Well, even like, downtown Disney in Orlando became Disney Springs, and it got bigger, and a bunch of hotels opened, and it was like, just everything was just grow, bigger, better than the last. Like, you can dislike the direction and the kind of media conglomerate move of acquisition and IP and all that. Like, you can dislike that idea, but in terms of like business, like, just unquestionably hugely successful.
Like, obviously he really revolutionized the idea of IP in parks and really,
for sure,
really hit off of that,
Yeah.
for better or for worse, whatever your opinion on that may be.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, from a business perspective, that's a success. And, we might sit here and not like, and that's why, one of the reasons that we all loved, Epic Universe, or specifically Darkmoor. So like, it doesn't feel super IP driven, but you know what? He made that successful. And again, we're talking about when we mean like Disney as a whole, but like
but
when you talk about Disney leadership, it's like, it's him,
Yeah.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, he but then, the biggest blunder maybe in company history was the appointment of Bob Chapek.
But that was Iger. That was Iger.
I know.
Do
Was choosing him as
was
a successor.
Do you think that was the worst succession choice in Disney history?
Oh, for sure. It has to be. They all were successful to some...
Can you think of a worse one, Toby?
Well, what, it went Walt and Roy to Michael and Frank Wells.
No, there's some other one before.
Oh, was there? Well, Waking Sleeping Beauty, that documentary. Have you seen that about animation? There may have been one guy in between who was like,
hold
bad.
up. I'll tell you.
I mean,
7 CEOs they've had since 1920. So it was Don Tatum for 5 years after Roy Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 71 to 76. He was there. Then you've got E. Carden Walker in 76 to 83. Ron W. Miller from 83 to 84.
Ron Miller's
1 year.
Yeah.
And then you have Eisner.
Yeah, Ron Miller.
I mean,
like
I think basically Miller lasted 1 year, was a disaster.
Yeah.
Don Tatum, I think, I don't know how long he didn't last that long either.
Yeah,
So
4 years or something, right?
yeah, he was like 5 years, and then Walker lasted around 5-6 years. Eisner lasted a shit
Eisner was
ton
there
of
forever.
He was there for a while, dude.
84 to 05. So
Yeah.
that's what, 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was there
So
for
he
20
was there
years.
for a long time, and then
And then
Iger's been there for-
Iger's 15, 05 to 20, and then 22 to now.
Mhm.
So another 4, so almost 20 years.
And also,
Iger.
like, for context, Ron Miller, or whatever you said his name was Walt Disney's son-in-law. So it was still like a family succession. That's why Eisner was such a like out of left field thing. It was like, whoa, we're like completely going outside of the.
Which at the time made sense with we've talked about before, but the response, like their movies were not doing super well.
Remember like Black Hole or whatever it's called, like Black Cauldron, and there was also this weird like space movie that was like a humongous flop. It was supposed to be like the next Star Wars. I mean, also like Toby, I know you're gonna hate me. Tron was a gigantic flop, and they thought it was gonna be the next Star Wars too. Like, there's lots of weird decisions, and then Eisner came in and was like, "Boom, here's what we're gonna do."
Let me throw some za on this situation.
Eisner was a creative. Too, for in terms of
100%.
CEO, so that's why he worked. It's really funny. Like, if you look at a lot outside of maybe Iger, it's funny though, because like Iger's business side, I think, we're all praising him early on, and maybe it was just short-sightedness of like it worked. His plan worked well for in the short run, but then this mess we're in now could just
Oh yeah.
be
It's
a
almost
long-term consequences of his actions, essentially.
Yeah.
It's almost like his exit was perfect. Like that
Oh,
first
yeah.
exit was the perfect time to get out. He
Yeah.
would have been remembered as one of the
I
best
think-
Disney
I think-
CEOs of all time.
But dude, Chapek, I mean, the fact that the only person who lasted less than Chapek as a CEO was Miller. And he
Mhm.
lasted one, and he was a disaster. So like, and I
Yeah.
mean, I think what happened was just Chapek was so bad.
Well, the problem too was it wasn't a mystery to the industry and to Parks fans and everything of who Bob Chapek was. Everyone hated him.
Everybody already knew, and I remember
Like he
even
was
when
the
we were doing-
cost-cutting asshole. Like that was his reputation.
I mean, when we were doing our original podcast during college, Disney Deconstructed, Spencer,
Mhm.
like that's how we felt about him. We did not. I remember we did not like the choice.
no.
And I
It
think
was
you'd
like,
also
oh,
already
God.
worked there at that point,
Mhm.
and so you had a bit of like insider perspective of it too, and I was a purely consumer perspective, but we didn't like it.
No. He like was known like as the guy who cut things. He cut Galaxy's Edge
Yeah.
down to what it was, and like just that was his reputation. He raised the prices. This was the time when the parks prices just kept ballooning and ballooning constantly, and it was like Chapek,
Yeah.
like that's what
You
he
know,
does.
Like
It was crazy.
when-
Did you know that Walt was never CEO of the Disney company?
yeah, it was his brother. It was Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walt was not a money guy.
No, that was the whole reason it worked.
That's so
Roy was
funny.
money and
It's
he was
so
story.
funny.
That
Everyone
was
thinks
Eisner
Walt
and
Disney.
Frank Wells, dude. That was the same
Everyone
idea.
thinks Walt Disney was like this business tycoon. And I'm like, nah, he was a creative. He was
His brother
fully a
was.
creative. His
Yeah.
brother
Yeah.
was the business dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was why
ma-
the reset worked. Like I said, that's why you brought in Eisner and Wells. They were trying to mirror the Roy Walt dynamic.
And
it
do you
worked for a
think
long time.
is that what like we were missing with Iger and with Chapek was there that the creative force to
Iger
counteract
was
the
just so
CEO?
revolutionary that I think it's like apples and oranges. Like it's hard to even think
Yeah.
about them in the same
people,
way.
People joke about him. People clown on him. I mean, like we call Toby the big cheese every fucking week.
Sure.
But like I mean, but his impact on the industry as a whole is immense.
Oh, Eisner.
Like whether
Yeah.
whether you agree or not with like the moves that he made, the thing that each of us will always say about him is he took fucking risks, and that's
Yeah.
respectable in this industry.
And then like, Iger was the complete opposite, where like it wasn't like weird creative endeavor risks. It was like the risks of getting too big to fail. It was just like, we're going to
Yeah.
go in a completely different direction. We're going to become an NBC. We're going to become a media conglomerate. And we're going to buy all this stuff. We're going to buy ESPN. We're going to buy ABC.
Own ESPN.
Yeah,
We're
or the
gonna
ABC
own
was already
Lucasfilm.
part of them, but like we're gonna like make, because he came from media, right? He came
Yeah.
from the media world, so it was like, this is what we're gonna do, and
We're gonna own ESPN. We're gonna own Fox. We're gonna own Lucasfilm.
yeah,
We're gonna own Marvel.
we should have bought Pixar 10 years ago. We're gonna buy Pixar now,
Right.
Like we distribute all their movies anyway. We're gonna like tighten up all these relationships we have, and we're gonna be one of the big 3-4 massive companies. And yeah, I mean, Toby, like you said, was he ever actually that good? Or did he just like hit a series of home runs at the time that it was like, oh, there he goes. But it's like, oh, wait,
But he also
this on the
didn't-
grand scale maybe wasn't a good thing, because his hand-picked successor was like one of the most disastrous decisions in like modern corporate leadership anywhere. Like he was
2 years,
horrible.
dude. I mean, 2 years.
And he
Yeah,
like
nothing.
tanked their relationship with like actors and actresses with like the Disney Plus. Like, granted, he like did
Yeah.
hand it off during COVID, so I guess like an ounce of grace can be given, but like so bad.
Yeah.
Like Scarlett Johansson sued the company
Yeah.
at the time, which not that who cares about Scarlett Johansson, but like that's like an A-list actress who like was basically like homegrown Disney
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Marvel
You didn't pay me how I
sweetheart.
agree to be paid.
Like
Yeah.
going back on deals, just like boneheaded, dumb money corporate decisions, like just like studio notes. Like he was like the studio note CEO, just like dumb guy, just making crazy out of pocket decisions and being like, why are we spending money on the bus? Fuck the guests, cut the bus. And it's like, what? Like here's all of these, radical changes in the whole other direction. But like,
why do we need droids rolling around Tomorrowland?
Stupid. Yeah, cut it.
Sorry, Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge, right?
Get it out of there.
And so like, I mean, he made Joe Rohde retire. Joe Rohde literally retired.
Yeah, under the Chapek era.
You had like all of these creative powerhouses retire.
Chapek, I think, was the one who was like really pushing for the Florida move, and I think
100%.
that combined with COVID,
100%.
It was him,
and that gutted Imagineering.
Mm-hmm. And
it
was a big flop. Like no one did it.
Thank you to an extent. Thank you to an extent, just because sorry, go ahead.
I just want to, for those of you who might not know, during that era that we're discussing, there was a massive effort to move all of Imagineering to Orlando.
They wanted to move the whole company besides film. Yeah.
Right. From where they currently sit, which is in the greater LA area.
Glendale.
Yeah. So,
no, I was gonna say, like, to an extent, thank you, because now we have a bunch of these like really cool boutique shops that have kind of come up out of everybody leaving Imagineering.
Yeah.
A lot of third-party contractors with an insane amount of talent. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess we can move on to what the fuck tomorrow has. Like everyone's like, I'm super excited, but at the same time, the Disney as a company's name has never been. I mean, not never. It's been worse. Sure. Financially, It's been worse and everything, but right now, I don't think it's a great moment. I mean, I finally saw Zootopia 2 just because I had to go to a mall to pick up a suit for your wedding, and they were showing it there, and I was like, I guess I'll see it. I haven't seen it, and like they put on like the Moana trailer, and I was like, fuck, I forgot we're doing this shit.
The live action one.
Yeah, and I mean, like Disney's in a weird spot right now, where like
it's a challenging. And it's tough too, because I get what you're saying, Spencer. Like you want to give a little bit of grace because like taking over right as like COVID was going to start and all that, like that, some grace.
For Chapek, there,
but for Chapek, but this is a challenging time to take over Disney for sure.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't say it's as challenging as like when Eisner took over.
Sure, no,
like Eisner took over when films were bad and when people were really criticizing the parks and things like that, and that was a hard time for him to take over. But it's not challenging.
Oh, for
I
sure.
guess the question becomes is Tomorrow gonna have the balls to do something different at this point?
I think you're gonna. This is completely my guess. I think you're going to see a more focused return to the guest experience. I just think that that's where he cut his teeth, is in that kind of realm.
Sure.
I don't think you're going to get a full 180 on things that are making money. Like as much as we hate Genie Plus and Lightning Lane, I'm sure they're making profit from it and the ticket prices and whatnot.
Absolutely,
they have to be, right? So I don't think you're going to see these things like go away, but I think you'll get more like investments into amenities and things to try and do a little bit of damage control for the brand.
Maybe let's openly disclose that like you won't have access to Lightning Lane for our two biggest attractions at the resort.
Like there will be, or make like it
maybe
better.
We don't want to feel like we're misleading,
Right.
And that's like, I feel like that was my sentiment the last time I went to Disney. I'm like, all right, I'm paying $200 more than I paid 10 years ago to be here for a day.
Right.
So, with that in mind, now I'm paying extra for Lightning Lane, which isn't that much money on the face front, but then I can't reserve Rise of the Resistance. I can't reserve Cars, like, unless I pay another to get through another wall, And so I do agree with you. I hope that maybe some of that, like just customer experience.
Yeah.
Not even
about the customer.
Bro, I'm just talking about the studio.
Yeah,
because
that's I honestly don't know.
That's also in. I mean, they made
you're also
money.
More educated on that realm than I think Spencer.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to hear your thoughts about that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because the best thing that could have happened this year is for Lilo and Stitch to bomb, for example, but it made
And
$1
it did
billion fucking
not.
dollars.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know
Fuck.
where I stand. I'm hoping that maybe there is understanding of other things. You know, Predator Badlands
Sure.
made a shit ton of money
Dan
for being
Trachtenberg
a
fought.
Well,
relatively.
Dan Trachtenberg actually like just signed a deal with Paramount for 3 movies or something.
Oh, he's leaving
today.
Fox, really?
Yeah, he just signed. I think I saw it today. Like he signed in an article. He signed I think a 3
Well, that
picture
answers my
deal
question.
with
Oh, that's so
Paramount.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
so it's like, okay, you're losing somebody who was doing low budget movies that were beloved and making money. So
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if it's a non-compete or whatever. I don't know what you do at this point. Star Wars is a mess. Marvel
Oh my
is dead.
God.
Marvel is dead in the water essentially.
You
Like
gotta hope Doomsday, but Doomsday
Marvel's
also
like, man,
is
we really got to start hyping this thing up a year.
you
before it
dropped
comes
a
out.
show out of nowhere and just
yeah,
dumped
Wonder
it on
Man?
Disney Plus.
They were like,
Disney
"Eh."
Plus.
They just put
So
it out.
like
They
so, like,
shadow
you-
dropped it.
it's super funny
Appar-
how
Apparently, they're showing the Spider-Man trailer during. People theorize that they're showing the Spider-Man trailer during the Super
cares?
Bowl, and it's like you've already dropped like 4 or 5 little teasers for a movie that comes out in a fucking year. Like,
Yeah.
what is this marketing plan?
I just don't know. Look at the value of all these IPs where they are right now. Again, he made them so big, but Marvel, Star Wars are hot fucking messes.
Mhm.
Pixar has lost its bulletproof. Like make a movie
Oh,
with
for
an
sure.
Oscar type thing, like that's been dead for a
they-
while
it's-
at this
They're
point.
doing Incredibles
It's lost
3.
its, like,
They've like
yeah.
pushed
Toy
in a whole
Story
different
5
direction.
is coming
Yeah.
out this
So,
year.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like lost some of its sincerity. You
Oh,
know,
for sure.
Like you talk about that a lot, Spencer. I remember like a few, during one of our Christmas episodes, you were talking about like how sincere Charlie Brown Christmas is. Like,
Yeah.
let's give a message with this, and I feel like Pixar kind of lost that.
Dude, Disney lost before like any Disney project felt like a Disney project. Now
Mhm.
Disney just feels like a studio. Now Disney is just Netflix or is just also Netflix. Warner
It's just
even
it's
Warner
just a
Brothers does more.
Yeah, it's just a creative name for a media company at this point.
Yeah,
It's
they're just a conglomerate. They're not before like the Disney name used. Especially give Eisner his credit. Like when he failed, he didn't just fail. He set the house on fire. But
Yeah.
no, but at least like that was like that name and that kind of recognition. I don't know. I don't really feel that. Most of the times I see a Disney thing coming out and I'm like, ah, fuck.
Yeah.
That's-
Well, I
It
think
feels like more corporate studio slop, and like in that regard, shout out to fucking Markiplier for making like $21 million.
Oh yeah. I haven't
last
seen
weekend
that.
on
I need
his-
to check that out.
on his independently funded and shot
Iron
and
Lung.
produced and directed like feature, which Hollywood fucking hates. He was above the Melania documentary, and I think that I saw somewhere he posted that they actually took him off of the leading list for like and then he complained, and then they put him back on there, but they're like, oh my god, he made more money than the fucking Prime documentary.
That's
like no
hilarious. No,
Yeah,
I
so
think,
I don't-
like studio Hollywood fucking hates that. They don't
Oh, yeah.
want people to be able to do that.
Keep in
No.
mind how much is our. I mean, look what's in place. I guess we can start to get an idea what is in place right now within the parks community. That I guess was Pandora under tomorrow, the new Pandora coming out in California. Is that all? Is
I
this
mean,
all at this
technically,
new-
yes, he was in charge of
will
parks.
be. Yeah. And
So I
at
don't-
the very least, he'll be CEO when these things come out. right?
no,
He'll
I
be
mean, the
CEO
question is,
during
like,
Abu Dhabi.
what I'm saying is all this money is already kind of planned out into
Mhm.
projects. So what's he gonna? I mean, yeah, maybe smaller scale things have they announced his replacement yet for
I don't
chairman
know.
of who's gonna chair the parks?
Not that I've seen.
I don't know, man. I think anybody who's at this point, like, you have to just reestablish, because at this point, in terms of Empire Wars, there's another big player who's at your scale and who is now really at your scale and even potentially beating you, who is Netflix in terms of being the media empire. Because with
Sure.
Warner Brothers acquisition, I mean, they are right up there with Disney in
Yeah.
terms of, right? You now have Warner Brothers Animation, so you now have the Lego movie, like those people. You've now got fucking Christ, the amount of you've got, Nolan, you've got so many big IP, you've got DC. Like all of a sudden now you have a media conglomerate that is at the level it has to be, you know, to become something ginormous. So
you go.
I don't know. No, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, there's a tug of war in the media super empire side, and then now you've got Universal, who is taking advantage of the stagnation of Disney parks to advance, and somebody like, and you've got Mark Woodbury over there who like is really good at his, even with their misses, right? For the most part, like sure, I think, and misses, I'm talking like Horror Unleashed. We don't know how that's gonna do. Not doing great. We have yet to see how their other new venture, the Frisco park does. Like we still have to see how those smaller, but he's doing it.
Sure.
He's opening Epic. The UK park looks insane.
Yeah.
And it'll be hilarious if Universal can actually find success in the Euro market when Disney failed so badly in it.
Yeah. It'll be
So
yeah.
you're coming into you're not coming into a thing where like Disney has its own identity. You're now coming into a thing where like everything Disney had is now being challenged. You're no longer just the big dog with all the properties. That's Netflix. They're there with you. And now Universal's like, hey, we're here, we're spending, and we've got a guy who's creative.
Door, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're coming in and you have to compete now. You're no longer just the top dog. So what do you do if you're tomorrow? How do you steer that?
I think the number one priority has to be repairing the brand image. And I think that's what I'm kind of alluding to. Like I mean, even if you think about, the second stint of Iger, which was by and large just an extension of Chapek, and it was like, for me, it became a point recently, meaning the last couple of years, where it's like, how much of this was just what Iger would have done anyway during Chapek's time?
he basically just was like, just put Chapek's face there.
Like, how much of this was already maybe in motion? Like, it's like he was so cavalier in that first 15-year span of like, all of this was so new, but now, like you alluded to, Toby, like Netflix is doing the same thing. Universal or NBC Universal was trying to do the same thing. Like all these studios are consolidating with media companies and being these big empires, and it's like, oh, now that it's not special anymore, and also the quality has dipped dramatically, it's like, well, how much of this was he actually good at, and how much of it was just like a bold new strategy, which I guess credit is in and of itself, but it's like, you're not going to see a radical change in the film department. When Iger came back, it wasn't like a lot of these things were set in motion under him in the first part. They're just bad now. Like Marvel, Star Wars, the live action remakes, like they've just become slop and poorly made. And it's like, tomorrow's not going to jump in and be like, putting better directors on. Like the studio process is going to be the same. I just think you're going to get a more of a personal, hopefully, return to the differentiator, which is like the touch of this company and the feeling and the amenities to the resorts, and just like trying to build back up this like goodwill, because right now, like you said, their reputation's in the toilet, and everyone thought it would change post Chapek, and it really was more of the same. Just
it was literally just Chapek with Iger,
and it's like, well, Iger had some of the best PR in the world in that first 15-year run, and now it's like, oh, how good was he actually? And
like
now
Disney,
here we are tomorrow.
Disney, like, made, like everybody's like, oh, it's the happiest place on earth. It's where you go to make memories, right? People made memories at Disney before they started profiting off the idea of making memories at Disney. And I think that it's like, how do you get back to that initial idea of like, we're here to help you make memories, not to just.
But how do you do that? I mean, Iger already opened Pandora's box. You're no longer just Disney. You are this. You're a fucking. You're the creature from the end of The Substance, where she's just like a blend of everything else, right?
You're
like
a giant blob of intellectual property.
You're a giant blob of intellectual property. So, like, what do you do at that point to find a way to bring back that Disney magic, for lack of a better term, that made you special in the first place?
Job is going to be is threading that needle, because you can't go back, you can't turn back the clock.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're selling Fox. Who wants it?
And why would they do that?
Yeah,
right? Like, there's
exactly.
You can't lose profitability in any stretch of the imagination.
It's going to be threading the needle of how do you do this, but still be different? How do you bring back the feeling? And
Yeah.
I think that's why I just hit the
Still
nail
be
on the head.
genuine.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Still be
Like
genuine.
it's how do you still have? That's why he's a good hire, right? Because he has that warmth. How do you have that genuine sincerity, warmth while you're, obviously they've been trying to make money since the fucking 60s. Like they've never actually been this angelic thing.
No,
Right.
that
no,
that
no.
people
That's
put
the
them on a
image.
pedestal with. But how do you bring that image back? And it's like, oh, well, the guy that is warm, and even if I said like it's phony, at least it's sincere. And it's like, how do you get that face?
Yeah.
He's the face, right? He's smiling. He shakes hands. He like looks you in the eye. Like he's not like Chapek. Also, like this is so mean, and I'm was like it's hard to do that if you're not like an attractive person. And
Dude,
Chapek looked like
the
Rumpelstiltskin.
thumb. The thumb,
Like-
dude. The human thumb, yeah.
Like DeMauro is like, not a fucking 10 out of 10, but like he's clean cut. He's like charming. He's got a big smile. Like he looks. You're like, yeah.
well, he's
I wanna be
charming.
friends
He's
with that
charming.
guy.
He's charming.
With Chapek,
But
you're
that's
like,
all
you
you need.
run.
a little
like,
chiseled jaw.
yeah, like Chapek's
Well,
like the human services meme where it's like, someone help. Like you see that.
Yeah,
fucking
no
guy.
charisma whatsoever.
No,
there was
like
no
Rizless.
charisma behind there.
Rizless
As-
Bob Chapek.
As far as who will replace Josh D'Amaro as head of Disney Parks and Resorts, it does not look like they've confirmed that yet, but places like Disney Tourist Blog have posted like most likely situations are Thomas Mazloum, I hope I'm saying that right, which is the current Disneyland Resort president.
It's usually the
Um,
succession chain that happens.
Joe Schott, who is the Disney Signature Experiences president, Michael Moriarty, who's the current Disney Experiences VP and CFO,
Mhm.
and then Natasha Rafalski, who is the Disneyland Paris president, is what they claim. Which
And
would be kinda
they're
interesting.
They're interesting actually.
Yeah, we don't can't.
Yeah, that
we don't
that
talk
actually
about it
is
right
an
now,
interesting
but
suggestion. Disney Tourist
they're
Blog.
doing a
Kinda
lot
interesting
of
take there.
Iger 1.0 expansion and investment and stuff in
Yeah.
that park, like
They're-
Walt Disney
They're
Adventure World or whatever
basically
it's called.
doubling the size. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
basically doubling the size of their second gate. With
And
the
it,
whole,
like I had
Frozen
zero
expansion.
interest in ever going to that resort, but seeing that, I'm like, maybe someday I will.
Yeah,
like, it
I
looks
mean,
We'll see.
honestly, it's probably. Yeah, I would go.
Yeah.
I do think they do need some kind of creative involved in all of this.
Oh sure.
They can't just be a purely business person anymore. I mean, you've got that infrastructure at this point, and you're making the money, and you still need those people. I'm not going to fight here and say you don't need the business people. They're the ones
course you
that
do.
like the creative happen. But you need the emphasis on what an experience is. I just hope, I really do hope that D'Amaro brings that
Mm-hmm.
of living in the parks and being in the parks and understanding what a guest experience is supposed to be like,
Yep.
and can say, yeah, we have royally fucked this up.
Yeah. Sure.
Because it is. I think I have not gone to Disneyland in the longest I have. It's been a while.
Oh, me
Since
too.
I- and I
Was
have
the last
no-
time when you went with me, like for your birthday, was that the last time?
No. I went.
No, you've been since then. That was like during
think-
COVID.
I think I no. I went like last year at some point. I think I went
Oh,
last
it's been
year.
years for me. I haven't been in a while.
Well,
I
you
went-
worked there. It's
I
different.
went this
True.
last fall, but that was the first time in like since COVID that I've been.
Yeah.
I think I went in like March or May last year. But
Okay.
I live here and I used to go a ton.
Coming up on a
I can-
year.
I
Yeah.
have plenty of friends who work at Disney. I can get into that park for free, and I still have not gone.
No, same.
because
Yeah,
I
like,
just
it's
don't
not-
want to deal with it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
don't ever feel the need at this point. I think, I mean, in terms of your concern about story direction, I think the best vote of confidence you can get is he's liked by Imagineering. He was at the time, at least.
Yeah.
They liked him.
Oh yeah,
They did not like Chapek. Like, it was the, it
Oh,
was the
every
most open
Imagineer
book secret. Like I
hated
said, Joe
Chapek,
Rohde
yeah.
literally retired. Like, the goat of theme park
like,
design
Fuck.
was
this.
like, I am not doing
Yeah.
this anymore. And early retired, like 10 years early.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
still
one of,
like
one of everyone, especially if you're like in our age group, one of everybody's heroes when they want to or passionate about themed entertainment and want to get into this is Joe Rohde, and he fucking retired because of this guy.
yeah, like it's the biggest L ever.
I think he's a good choice, and I just hope we see some kind of change coming and him trying to make a name for himself. Yeah, man, we have a real different CEO now.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Chapek, and we just shat on him, but like everything that came under him was like the reverse King Midas touch. So,
That's what it was. Like, it wasn't really that big of a direction change. It was just like everything that touched turned to gold instantly
Kinda
became
like
poop, and it was
It
like,
fell apart. Like, It
Yeah.
just felt like everything kind of collapsed.
and then it returned to Iger, and it was like, wait, you did the same shit, and now it's just
Yeah.
not actually better. So
Yeah.
maybe you sucked too. He you know, we just sang his praises for 15 years. Like, obviously, one of the most impactful people in media history. But it begs the question of, was like, oh, maybe this direction also maybe wasn't that great, and you just
Maybe
like
this is a
kind of
bad
got
idea.
lucky. It's like Kevin Feige, right? Like, for a while, undisputed, probably greatest film producer of all time with the MCU.
sure.
And then, like, now you're like,
what a fucking visionary that
yeah,
guy
and
is,
they like still at the time they were killing it. Were shooting movies with not finished scripts. Like, none of this is new. It's just like now
No.
it's finally biting them in the ass, and it's like, well, this isn't good practice anyway. And you were just like getting away with it.
I mean, they
so it's
chose like they got so lucky they didn't like Jon Favreau's talked about it. They went to him because he was relatively new to directing. He had done Elf and shit like
And
that.
he was
like,
cheap.
He was cheap. They got it. He said it himself. They got a good deal on him. They got
Yeah.
a good fucking deal on Robert Downey Jr.
They
because
wanted Tom Cruise,
they
and he
had
wouldn't. They couldn't
yeah.
reach his payment. And they were like, fine.
Yeah,
Downey.
Like Jon Favreau had to convince them of Downey, and
Mhm.
Downey took the special, I'll just take some money after the fact, depending on the success of it deal, and that ended up paying really well for him. But like they never intended to spend that much money on the thing.
No, it was like just a perfect storm for like 10, 15 years where it's like these guys can do no wrong. I remember during like the Warner Brothers time, like, and I, and in the period it was going on, I liked the Zack Snyder movies. Years removed, it's like, okay, maybe I don't. But I remember like thinking, God, I just wish Disney bought DC instead, because they just crush everything. And then it was like, oh, they don't anymore, and now this like really sucks. And what do we do?
It's interesting, and I literally I think he did a recent interview about it, Jon Favreau, and it's just really interesting to hear him talk about it. Like, he was like, well, at the time, like, it wasn't Marvel Studios, it was just Marvel. Like, it was just Marvel, and that's what it was.
I think they were working with Paramount, weren't they? Because that's why the Incredible Hulk rights are weird.
The Incredible Hulk rights are weird, and then
but then Disney bought them, and they were like, okay, we can like just, because they were like an independent studio, basically just being distributed by Paramount, or whoever would bid, whoever would bite. Like Sony,
Yeah.
The Spider-Man movies were with Sony. Like, the
obviously
company
got
was
them.
weird. Yeah,
Fox got Fantastic Four,
X-Men.
and X-Men. Like, it was just weird, and that it's just an interesting time, and things were such smaller, still big, but such a smaller scale compared to what they are now. It's just weird.
And it just best of luck to Josh. He's inheriting like not the same level of mess as like a global pandemic, but like the brand is in a bad spot, and your big IPs are in a bad spot, and it's like, okay,
I think the brand is like in a spot where it doesn't feel like it has the same level of respect or acknowledgement that it used to.
Yeah.
And that's largely in part because of due to their own doing.
Yeah.
But also the other companies and major conglomerates are figuring out their shtick and doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, if Universal is offering us new stuff every year, probably going to go to Universal. If Universal offers a better overall experience for a better bang for your buck, which they have been since COVID at least,
sure,
people are going to go to Universal. I'm shocked by I'm still surprised every time somebody's like, oh yeah, we're going to go to Orlando, and I'm like, oh yeah, you going to Disney? And they're like, no, I'm going to Universal, and then we're just coming back.
It's like oh,
people aren't going to pay for it anymore.
Yeah,
and they have to fix that if they want to still be top dog.
That's priority one, is the brand image and the bringing back the the sincerity, as you said, Lane. That's it. Like, that's if you can do that, then you can worry about the rest of it. But like, that's priority one.
Sure.
Is get consumer trust back and invest in the good stuff again,
Yeah.
like if you want to do more live action remakes, like everyone hates them, but fine, at least like have them be sort of creative. Like Jungle Book is interesting, and like Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella was interesting, and like there were choices made, like Lilo and Stitch and the other one,
even like Beauty and the Beast was interesting.
But in Lion King it's like literally 1-to-1, and it's like, what is the point of this? Like have a little bit of,
when you took like Jon
different.
Favreau, who in my opinion had like, I mean, especially at the time, because like Stagecraft was it was literally like the first thing ever filmed on Stagecraft.
the volume,
and the volume, and like all of that stuff, like with Jungle Book, but it was still at its core an original vision of a remake.
Sure.
In my opinion, having seen the original, and Lion King was not. But it's the same director.
Yeah, which was crazy.
It's like, I want to see more of Jungle Book if we're going to keep doing these remakes. Give me something, an original take, even just creatively or artistically.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's, where the touch was lost. And it's like, you can do these, Epic Universe. You can do IP things as long as you do them well. And it's just like they've stopped doing them well recently. And it's like, were they ever doing something different, or was it just a lucky string of, perfect situations? Like, we don't really know. And in the post Chapek Iger run, it like begs that question, like we said. So it's like, if you can bring back just a little bit more creative direction and choices, just make choices, don't fucking crowd test everything to death.
Yeah.
Like, make choices.
Do you think that he's going to react or take the company in any direction based off of how Universal's investing a lot more, or at least some more, in more like local market entertainment?
That's interesting.
Like,
I don't know.
Like the Horror Unleashed or the new Universal Kids Park.
I mean, they did already
Texas.
in the 90s, and it didn't do well.
It wasn't
with the Disney
successful.
Quest. So it's like, do they
At a
try
certain
something
point,
new again? I don't know.
Like, and if I don't know, they're still building more Horror Unleashed locations. If that or the Universal Kids thing hit it out of the park, I mean, Disney has to be watching that, right?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Like, you'd think that they'd eventually emulate the same thing, which is
and
like,
Netflix House, they're all watching these localized.
This is like an interesting time, because I feel like Disney has almost never been, at least in our lifetimes, has never been behind the 8 ball quite like they are right now in this situation of like, Universal might be leapfrogging them, at least domestically at this point in time, with Epic Universe and with investment in more localized market entertainment.
At least they're on the trajectory to do so. They're still like,
going there.
You have to keep, there's so much brand loyalty that has to get eroded, but yeah.
That, and they got to keep, Universal has to keep their foot on the gas.
Right.
But like, if that happens, like, that's a shootout situation,
Sure.
And it'll be interesting to see what Disney counters with, especially like the Horror Unleashed thing is interesting because Disney doesn't really do much in that realm at all. So like, it's like, how do you counter that or meet some other niche market that could be profitable? So I think the next couple years, I know they've announced a lot recently for the next couple years, but I feel like things that we hear about in the next couple years will be really indicative of like how much Disney's paying attention now with new leadership to what the competition's doing.
Sure. I agree. Yeah. I think, it's going to be interesting. I'm rooting for the guy. I like him. Like I said, like I want this industry to be, fleshed out and competitive, and I want to like those parks again. So,
yeah, me too.
Like I'm rooting for him. Like I don't enjoy being like a dick on this show. Like
I don't enjoy coming on here every time and being like, well, I like what Universal's doing more.
Yeah, like I want to enjoy everything.
It's been the truth for the last couple years.
It's been how I have felt.
It's just how we felt the last couple of years. It's more bang for your buck, and it's also frankly just a better experience, especially with like horror nights and stuff for people, for like us in our mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Doing that,
definitely the age is, I'm sure, part of it too. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
What cool things have you guys done this week?
Oh God. Toby, you go.
I got this back.
What's that? Oh, he got his pass.
I got my pass.
Dude, they still use that fucking
paper
photo
ticket,
on the
dude.
They
studio tour.
still use
They
the
don't give you
paper,
plastic. It's a
the
little
paper ticket. It's still
That's
a little paper
wild.
ticket.
with that bullshit studio tour photo from like 2010.
That's awesome.
Like that you were gonna watch some guy on a zip line while a building exploded behind the studio tour.
Oh yeah, it's Vin Diesel. He's holding onto the helicopter.
Yeah.
No. He's got the studio tour. Show us again, Toby.
It's a
Block
studio
out your little
tour.
number or whatever.
But it's
the
Vin
studio-
Diesel still.
No,
is
it's
it not.
It's like
not.
a stunt. That's been there for so long.
Oh yeah,
dude.
that's like the hero image they use for everything for the studio tour.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
You know, I live across the street. I might as well. I went for like
You're right.
an hour and a half, and that was it.
Hell yeah, brother.
What is
I
it
got a
like
three-
just walking into Universal from like you just walk across the street and walk up that hill?
Sometimes, or I just drive. It's like a 5-minute drive. You know, not even.
Nice.
And 5-minute drive, I mean like to get to my parking spot, not to get there. I mean from leaving my house to getting to my parking spot. It is 5 minutes. Fast and Furious looks cool. It's looking good.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
basically
yeah.
done.
Yeah,
It's basically. I think they announced today it opens summer. So
Yeah, I saw
That makes sense.
I saw a video they dropped where like the actual ride vehicles that are all decked out as different cars showed up.
yeah. So
they're getting
I'm
there.
pumped for that.
Totally.
I will say every time I walk there, I'm like, damn. For the love of God, guys, Simpsons has got to go. It's time.
Oh, it's gotta go.
It's gonna go because
It
I
has
think
to.
that license
gotta.
expires. I think 28. So
Yeah, tomorrow's not gonna let them re-up it. I would be surprised.
I don't think they want to re-up it at this point.
I also, I don't think they want to. I think they have Pokemon, and they announced.
think-
there's
I feel
Pokemon's
like
in
Japan-
development. We don't know what, but it's in development. They publicly said it finally.
Simpsons would have to have like a massive,
There's no value.
cultural
There's no
phenomenon
value.
Again, like if they release like a sequel to the Simpsons movie or something,
Which they're
and then
doing.
if it regurgitated that much interest, I just
And-
don't see it happening.
Regurgitated
I don't know.
is like the most gnarly way to describe that.
But it's
if
true.
If they vomited up Simpsons interest again.
And I went to. I will say another little thing. I went to I finally went to a Kings game last night. It was my first time
Oh,
at
yeah.
Crypto since it was renamed Crypto. Surprisingly low tech stadium in terms of like
dude,
there's no
For
there's no
something called
projection
Crypto
mapping.
Arena.
There's no projection mapping. None of that cool. It looks very like 2010s.
It sucks.
in terms
dude.
of a hockey
Yeah.
experience.
Crypto Staples Center sucks. It's the worst for a concert. The sound system is awful. It's echoey.
Oh,
and
yeah.
a
You've
mess.
said that. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't a suite, so it was kind of cool from there. But aside
yeah.
from that,
Sure.
it was like, wow, you guys like. I've been to like a couple hockey games at this point around the U.S. and Canada, and they have projection mapping.
yeah.
They have
No,
cool
they don't.
stuff. This felt
Mhm.
very classic. This felt very like, oh, you guys have not updated anything in a while. But yeah, Universal is still Universal. I'm curious to see. Fast and Furious it's there. It's imposing. The building is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
they have the gift shop for the attraction open already.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. So it's just like they have the marquee is now up. Like the wait time is there. It's basically ready to go. I'm hoping this thing soft opens around like
Oh, you'll be able to stop. It'll open
around
probably
like March or
April.
something.
Yeah.
I
I won't be in LA, but
Oh, true. Yeah. You gotta be doing stuff.
but yeah,
Anyways,
But, yeah. I hope so. I want to. But it's still not even fully built out. They're still putting the glass in for the scream shields,
Oh, it's gonna be a few months for sure. Yeah.
and they still need to plant some stuff down there. Like the ground where the supports are is still very barren.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I did see a really cool render of what Back to the Future might look like at UK. It was like it's some guy who did the same. He did a rendering of it's not confirmed Back to the Future, but everyone thinks something Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But I saw he did a rendering of Fast and Furious way back when it was first like speculated that it was going to be a coaster coming to Hollywood, and it was
Yeah.
pretty spot on. So he did one again of like Back to the Future and what that might look like if it is Back to the Future, and it looks fantastic. So I'm really hoping that's what the coaster is.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, still Universal Hollywood. I didn't go to Potter at all. We literally, I went with Noah, and we just went.
fun.
We just did the lower lot.
You gotta get
It was
that Wizards
It was
dude.
my first time going to Nintendo here since going to Epic's Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
And I
Couldn't
was like,
hold up.
oh yeah, here we go. And
It's
it
lit
was like
for
a
one.
walk on. It was a walk on for Mario, and we are both like, "Now we're good." We did.
What's a trip? What's a trip to uni without a hogshead brew?
What is it?
We just
Yeah.
he had never been on slop, so I wanted to get him on slop.
gotta do
Oh,
it to
okay.
him.
He had
Yeah.
never been on slop.
Which still, it's funny. Like we walked on Mummy, we walked on Jurassic, and slop had like a 30-minute wait still.
Yeah,
Slop
'cause
is popular.
capacity's awful, and it is
Yeah,
popular,
that's
yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my cool thing of the week, I guess.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude. What about you, Spencer?
I went into the mountains on Saturday. Drove up through Snoqualmie Pass, I think is what it's called up here in Washington. So it's like big ski resort area. That was fun. My car check engine light flashed, so that sucked. Car misfired. Made it home safely though, so whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, on the way home we stopped in a little town which we'd been to before. And it was called North Bend, Washington, and it's the site of where Twin Peaks was filmed.
Very cool.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
David,
Yeah.
whatever his last name is, I'm forgetting right now.
David Lynch.
David Lynch show, yes. So the whole town leads into it. They have like the diner, and everything's kind of like trippy themed. It's kind of like if Gravity Falls was like a place, sorta.
Sure. Like a
So that was
Roswell situation.
yeah. So they have fun with the kind of like mystery of the area, and yeah, it was cool. I went to a fun little brewery over there. Yeah, it's a fun town. It looks like the show. I've not seen.
Cool.
I've seen like a handful of episodes of the show. I'm not like the biggest David Lynch person, but if
I
you
know,
like Twin
right?
Peaks,
Yeah.
it's probably a dream because it looks like the show. So
There
I
you
did
go.
that, and that was fun.
Hell yeah. I'm just excited because I get to see you two next week.
Yeah,
I know.
You're getting married
So no episode
next
next week, right?
Yeah, no episode,
Yeah,
everyone.
so-
Lane's getting married.
No episode next week. I am getting. I am betrothed and I am getting married.
Crazy.
Yeah. So you'll be with probably Toby and Spencer the following week.
Probably
so I
while you're
will-
on your
I will-
honeymoon.
Yeah, I will not be around. Yeah.
Wow.
He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
Toby
be on
and
his.
Spencer special.
Yeah. We'll have to get a cool picture at Casa Bonita or
Oh,
something.
we'll get some pictures and we'll tell some
Yeah.
stories. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Lane
Some-
wedding
some-
episode.
Some Casa Bonita.
The Lane wedding
epilogues.
episode.
It'll be great.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited for it. All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it, I think, for another episode of Fully Immersed. If you're joining us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Wait, did
or
you
any
do a
other
cool
podcast
thing?
app,
She's
that
getting
is my
married.
cool thing, dude.
Oh, you're getting married. I mean, that is a cool
Yeah,
thing.
That is a cool. Hey, fuck you, dude. That's
Lane's
a cool
cool thing is his wife Sharon, or soon to be wife. Okay,
if you
sorry.
are joining us, no, you're fine. If you're joining us on a podcast app like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to give us 5 stars, 5 thumbs up, 5 middle fingers, whatever allows you to do. Preferable. We appreciate that. We are on YouTube as well. If you're watching us on YouTube currently, hey, thanks so much. Give us a subscribe, thumbs up. We are always going to be posting shorts and fun things like that, especially with more adventures together coming up. If you'd like to join us on YouTube or also on Instagram or TikTok, we are at Fully Immersed Pod on all 3 of those. So check us out. We'll be posting some fun stuff throughout this year, and we hope to have you all engage with it. Without further ado, I am Lane, this has been Spencer, and that has been Toby. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.